There's a moment every married man faces, even if he'll never say it out loud. It's the quiet hour, maybe 3 a.m. You're lying next to her. She's asleep, peaceful, and you're wide awake. You stare at the ceiling, heart heavy, stomach tight, and something whispers, something's off. You don't have evidence, no proof, just a quiet, steady feeling in your gut that the woman lying next to you isn't all the way there anymore. Maybe not in body, but certainly in mind, in heart. And the truth is, you've felt it for a while now, but instead of facing it, you pushed it down. You told yourself you were overthinking. You gave her the benefit of the doubt. You chose comfort over clarity, peace over confrontation. But deep down, you knew. Most men who get betrayed aren't blindsided. They weren't caught off guard. They were just too scared to see clearly, and so they lied to themselves. Because the truth would have required action, and action would have meant risk, loss, change. I've worked with hundreds of men over the years. They come to me broken, stunned, shaking their heads saying, "I never saw it coming." But they did. They just couldn't bear to admit what they saw. They ignored the tension in her body language, the shift in her tone, the new passwords, the late nights, the subtle emotional distance that kept growing until it became a wall. They ignored it because facing it would have meant facing a reality they weren't ready for. So let me walk you through the quiet process of betrayal, the one that starts long before she ever physically leaves. It begins not with screaming, not with cheating, not with packing bags or slammed doors, but with small daily decisions, quiet dismissals, subtle disappearances. It begins when she stops showing up when you're hurting. A real relationship is tested not during the highs, but in the low points, the losses, the sickness, the setbacks. Those are the moments when you find out who's really with you and who was only there for the highlight reel. You want to know if she's still in this with you. Watch what she does when you're at your worst. Not what she says, what she does. Does she lean in, or does she pull away? I remember lying on the bathroom floor, unable to keep water down, shaking from what felt like food poisoning or something worse. My girlfriend at the time, she left for a birthday dinner, said, "You're a grown man. You can handle it. That's not love. That's convenience. That's not independence. That's abandonment. A woman who truly cares will sit with you in discomfort. She'll hold the line when things get ugly. She won't walk away because her plans matter more than your pain. And if she leaves you when you're vulnerable, trust me, she'll leave you for less when the opportunity presents itself. But most men won't call that betrayal. They'll call it her needing space or her having her own life. They'll minimize it, excuse it, and keep moving forward. The next sign is financial disrespect, when she starts helping herself to your resources without discussion. Maybe she's moving money, opening credit lines, spending without talking to you first. And when you confront her, she doesn't apologize. She justifies. She says, "It's our money," or "You would have said no anyway," or worse, "After all I've sacrificed, I deserve this." Let me tell you what's really happening. She's not borrowing from a shared life. She's securing her exit. She's building a safety net with your sweat and pretending it's fair. I had a client who ran 3 restaurants, built them from the ground up, found out his wife was siphoning money, tens of thousands of dollars over months. And when he confronted her, she said she was building a just-in-case fund in case he ever left her. She was planning for life after him, while still living under his roof, spending his money. That's not foresight. That's betrayal. Plain and simple. But it doesn't stop there. It often begins to show up in her patterns. Suddenly she has a life you're no longer part of. She goes out more, spends time with friends you've never met. Her workouts last longer than the class schedule says. Her phone is always upside down. You feel the secrecy, and when you bring it up, you're made to feel paranoid. She turns the conversation on you. Why don't you trust me? You're being controlling. You're overthinking everything. No, you're not. You're watching the structure of trust being dismantled, piece by piece, and instead of helping you rebuild it, she's making you question whether it ever existed at all. Another shift that's easy to miss is when she starts picking fights. Small things suddenly become major issues. You forgot the trash? She explodes. You were quiet during dinner? Now she needs to get some space. But this isn't about the trash. She's manufacturing conflict, because conflict gives her a cover. She storms out, says she needs time, and in that time, she's free to do whatever she wants, free of guilt, because technically, you were in a fight. One man I worked with watched his wife do this for years. Regular blow-ups, vanishing for weekends, always returning calm, as if nothing happened. Only later did he find out those disappearances were weekends with someone else. He thought she needed breathing room. She was using it as travel time. Sometimes betrayal doesn't come in silence. It comes disguised as noise. And then comes the slow erosion of your voice in the relationship. She starts turning to others instead of you. Her sister's opinion suddenly weighs more. Her co-worker's advice becomes gospel. Her father thinks you're too harsh. Her friends think you're the problem. She's building her audience, preparing her justification, because when she finally leaves, she wants a cheering section. And then, the lies. The little ones. The ones you almost don't notice. Where she was, what she spent, who she talked to. You want to believe it's harmless, but it's not. Lying becomes a skill, practiced and sharpened. Each one that goes unchallenged builds her confidence, and over time, she gets better at hiding the truth because you're getting worse at looking for it. But the most devastating sign of all? It's the one you already know deep in your bones. She doesn't love you anymore, and you feel it. You feel it in her touch, in the way her eyes don't linger on yours, in the way intimacy feels transactional, in the way I love you sounds like a formality instead of a truth. And yet, you stay. You stay because you think, if you just try harder, be more patient, do everything right, maybe the love will return. But a woman who doesn't love you and still stays, she's not saving the relationship. She's using you for stability, for security, for status, for whatever she needs, until something better comes along. And when it does, she's gone, not slowly, not carefully, just gone. And you're left wondering how it happened. But here's the truth. It didn't just happen. It happened long ago, when you stopped listening to your gut, when you chose silence over action, when you let your fear of losing her become greater than your respect for yourself. So what do you do now? You stop lying to yourself. You stop calling betrayal a phase. You stop making excuses for disrespect. You stop tolerating what you wouldn't want for your brother, your son, your best friend. You start paying attention. You protect yourself, not with anger, but with clarity, with boundaries, with truth. And if the pattern continues, you prepare to walk, not as a threat, not as a punishment, but as a man who refuses to be used, as a man who values his peace more than his pride, as a man who finally realizes that being alone is far better than being with someone who makes you feel invisible, because the final betrayal isn't when she leaves, it's when you abandon yourself by staying. And that's the betrayal that scars the deepest. So if you see the signs, act. Open the box. Look inside. Face what you already know. And then choose you. Not someday. Not when it's too late. Choose you now.